Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of our Starfinder Drift Crisis live play. My name is Alex Speidel. I am your GM for these episodes and this adventure. My pronouns are he, him, and I am joined once again by my 4 wonderful Starfinder Drift Crisis players. They've been plunged into the Drift Crisis. They are well and truly in it now. So why don't we go ahead and run around, let the people know who you are, what character you're playing. I will start on my whatever side this is with Michelle.
Hello, my name is Michelle and Bradley. You can find me on the internet at I am Chubby Bunny is my name. And I am playing Camembert. My pronouns are she, her, and Camembert's pronouns are also she, her. And I am also a precog is my class. It's the whole thing. I can see into the future, but only like a little bit.
just a little bit, just 10 minutes into the future.
Yeah.
London.
Yeah.
Hello there. My name is London. I'm playing Tam Collins. He is a halfling biohacker. You can find me on the internet at London Carlisle, and I use he, him pronouns. Let's get to it.
Awesome. Chelsea.
Hi, I'm ChelseaBytes, and I'm playing Hopper, our mystic. And man, it is wild. Our pronouns are she, her, and you can find me again everywhere on the internet under ChelseaBytes.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least, Jim.
Hello, I am Jim Jam, he, him pronouns, and you can find me on the internet at Evil Jim Jam, really only on Twitter. That's the only place I'm ever on the internet. And I am playing an SRO soldier / security officer named Gary.
Very good. And so these four brave and stalwart crew members of the Void Empress, the Opulos Corporation's latest Starliner, found the cocktail reception that they were setting up rudely interrupted by some sort of disaster that thrust their ship out of the drift, the hyperspace plane where they were traveling, into the material plane, and appears to have caused a number of problems on the ship. They went to go investigate them, but they were accosted by some creatures of some sort who requested information of some sort and obtained a little bit of it before they were soundly defeated. And I believe that is where we left off, so let's go ahead and jump right back in to Starfinder Drift Crisis. All right, and welcome back to Starfinder Drift Crisis. Our 4 intrepid crew members of the Void Empress have just survived their very first combat here on the ship with a couple of nanite cloudy interlopers seeking information. As they were discorporated by your weapons and everything else that you did to them, they appeared to drop 2 metallic objects of some sort on the deck. But that is where we pick up as you all catch your breath, having just concluded the combat. What would the 4 of you like to do?
I think Gary approaches these 2 foreign objects on the deck. It says, "Everyone, please stand back while I assess the safety of the corridor." The first thing that happens is that there's this little, almost like a receipt printer that pops out of his side, and it spools out a citation and fine for the damages caused to his chassis, and he places it right where the 2 creatures were before they discorporated. And then I'm going to sort of inspect the remains. Like, what is it that I'm looking at here?
Yeah, absolutely. Incredible. You are a credit to the Opulos Corporation. So you don't even need a check to identify what's sitting on the deck in front of you, because what it is are two basically hard drives. Some sort of, data drive that likely contains data, or, perhaps is just a fun empty, drive for you to use.
I guess I'll pick both of those up, seeing that they don't appear to be immediately dangerous. However, I will not immediately slot them into my brain or anything like that. I feel like I have a little bit more self-awareness from that. But I'll just turn back to that and say, the danger appears to have passed.
That was so scary. What were they looking for? Data?
Oh, so the little boxes on the ground, we picked those up, right?
Yeah, I've got there's these data drives, and if you want them, I'll definitely hand them over.
Oh, you can have it, Gary.
I look back at Tam, and I say, yeah, this was a lot, and not in our job description.
It was actually well within my job description. This is specifically why I was hired by the Opulos Corporation. But I do understand it may have been shocking to the rest of you.
I hope you get a raise.
I only performed my standard duties, and it is unlikely that I will be up for promotion due to this.
Oh, Gary, always the pessimist, I see. Gary, can you remind us, during the middle of battle, it seemed like they took your memory or something?
Yes, they appeared to have stolen some of my data. Perhaps we have retrieved it in these drives. We should find some secure terminal we can use to inspect them safely.
It's true. Probably do not put that directly into your brain. But, if you're lucky, maybe we can see what other data they have stolen from other people and return it to them.
And while we're trying to find that terminal, does anybody want to start a tab? And what Tam means by saying that is he's hoping if he can attune to my party here, in hopes that, I could do like any sort of like little, some boosters if you need it during battle to kind of help later on.
Whatever you need to do, I guess.
Yeah, so it just takes, if we have 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Oh, okay, cool. I turn to Gary and I'm like,
Gary, do you imbibe?
I do not need to eat or drink.
Nothing for fun, not even motor oil or anything?
For fun, I like to collect things. Would you like to see my collection?
Yeah.
Sure.
That sounds so ominous, but I must see now.
I only bring with me a few of my finer pieces. And there's this like little slot that goes up on his chest. And inside are these little figurines. They all look like they're... I mean, you would probably recognize them fairly easily. There's Funko Pops in the real world. These are an equivalent thing, but they're called port pets. And I collect them wherever we go. I always find the port pet in wherever we dock, and I carry around my favorites. One from Avalon, which is my home world, so that has a special place in literally next to where my heart would be if I had one.
oh man,
those are nice.
Indeed. I have many others. I hope that they weren't sheared off with the rest of the ship. I will be extremely upset if they're gone.
Oh, Gary, are you one of those people that has the whole wall of the pork pets, but it's like just the boxes and you won't open them?
I have no other use for my wall space, so yes.
Oh, it is terrifying yet sentimental. I love it.
I turn back to Tim and I say, I'm sure Gary would very much be able to utilize your tab, even if he's just collecting it.
Yeah, for sure. We have all sorts of things. If you do choose to attune, I could probably do a +1 to your AC, +2 to skill checks, or +10 to your speed if we ever need that.
Ooh, speed sounds really good.
And I can hit all three of you with this.
Gary rolls up and says, I will try this drink.
Whenever you're ready. And he hands you like the little micro lab that's like the little card reader. Here, just swipe your card here. And he brings it around to everybody. And then we'll be good to go for the next day or so.
Okay.
Excellent.
I swipe my card.
All right.
So those are basically his little in combat boosters, and if you're all attuned, then he can automatically give you those without having to shoot you with his needler pistol. So that's way better.
Oh.
If you're taking 10 minutes to attune to his microlab, anyone who took stamina damage can also take a 10-minute rest to spend 1 resolve point and restore all their stamina. I think maybe only Gary took stamina damage though, so I don't know if you want to,
Yeah,
Jim.
I took a little bit, and it was mostly superficial, so I think I'll save my resolve for now, just in case things get nasty later.
Makes sense. Very good.
I don't know if I can do this right now, but is a swift action to replace one of my paradoxes? Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that you can probably get them back over the course of the day, so I'm going with it.
Yes, let us go down this corridor and continue to figure out where everyone is.
I was just saying, my goal would be sort of find a place where, find a terminal where we could plug in these data drives and figure out what was on them. So if there's one nearby, even during the 10 minutes, like if there's just one nearby that we could use, or if we need to go find one. But that's sort of my intention as we move forward.
Yeah, understood. So the drives that you have are like kind of like computer hard drives. They're not just like USB drives that you can plug in somewhere, so you need like a proper full computer. Usually those are going to live like backstage, so you can certainly go find one, but the rally point that you were headed to initially is going to be closer.
Okay, let's go there then. Yeah, for sure.
And as you sort of make your way down the hallway, you can hear motion sort of throughout the ship. You can hear that there are people up and moving and going from place to place. You don't see a ton of other people in this particular hallway as you're making your way to this kind of rally point, but you do, as you kind of round the corner to get there, you see a Yosoki couple sort of waiting along the side of the highway. There's one of them kind of slumped on the ground, sort of, he's cradling his head and she's fussing over him. You recognize these individuals as passengers, so you know that they are probably not threats to be immediately eliminated, Gary. But yeah, you come upon this couple in some sort of distress. What do you do?
I recognize those two. That's Mr. and Mrs. Rosemary. We need to go check on them. Mr. and Mrs. Rosemary, are you okay?
Jewel Rosemary, who's sort of there, sort of tending to her husband, looks up and says, "Oh, hey there, dear. How you doing? Oh, he took a little tumble. You know, he's not doing so great. Do you have any bandages or anything?"
I should, but does anyone else have a bandage? If they don't, I have healing touch. So if they need it, I can give them that. It'll take some time though, unless they just need a bandage.
I mean, I don't know. You can go up and check him out. You haven't really taken a good look at the damage.
I will walk up to them and take a look and see if I'm a doctor at all.
Yeah, sure. So, go ahead and roll a medicine check if you've got ranks in medicine, which I think you do.
Let's see what we get. Oh, wow.
Oh,
okay.
22. Yeah. Yeah. So you can. He's sort of sitting against the ground. This kind of gray furred Yosoki. His name is Quick. You would know. He and Jewel actually are contest winners. They won a contest to be here, and they're very excited about it, which is probably how you've met them, because they've just told everyone. They've shown you pictures. They're adorable. I love them. They only live in my brain, but I love them. But yeah, he's got a little bit of a kind of a gash in his head. It's not terrible. He's not going to die from it, but he definitely took a pretty good hit and could probably use like a couple of stitches or something else, like a little more than a bandage. Jewel was underselling it a little bit.
Got it. I will use my daily ability and do healing touch. It takes some time, but it'll at least give them 5 HP back and maybe help with that injury.
Yeah, absolutely. You can go ahead and sort of let the magic flow out of your hands and sort of stitch that wound up a little bit, and it'll sort of help. And as you're working on Quick there, Jewel will sort of look at the rest of you and say, "Hey, you know what happened here? We took a real big tumble, and all the lights are off now."
I look over at Gary and Camembert to help fill them in while I'm healing Mr. Rosemary.
You know, we had a little bumpies, and we are also trying to figure out what is happening. I'm sure it is fine. This is a world-class star cruiser, and I'm sure everything is going to be completely fine, completely under control. I'm like looking around, and if you all just stay right here and attend to your wounds, we will do some investigation and get this ship right back into ship shape.
Ship shape.
I don't know. Should I roll something for that?
Do you believe that you will have things under control shortly?
Nah, sure don't.
Okay, then roll a bluff check.
13? What's that?
Okay, a 13. So I will say that this couple is fairly nice and fairly trusting. So she'll say, "Oh, that's That's real good to hear. You know, I was real worried. You know, he took a real tumble, and it seems like people are having trouble. But if you think we're gonna get on track soon, then that's real good. You know, we left all the kids behind.
Behind where?
Oh, yeah, no, back home. It's just us on the ship. Don't worry, they're not in, like, deadly peril or anything.
We got scared for a second.
Perhaps you would like to join us to go to the rally point. It is just over there, not nearby.
Oh, I mean, yeah, if he's safe to move, and he sort of says, yeah, I'm gonna be all right. The nice pink lady's doing some good magic.
She is a nice pink lady, yes.
He's a little out of it.
Yeah, if you need assistance, I'm sure Gary is all brawn and all heart, and would be happy to assist you if you need someone to lean on.
That's very kind, but I think I'm okay. And he sort of stands up shakily. Yep, I'm good. Yep, I'm good. I'm good.
Don't push yourself, Mr. Rosemary.
Jewel sort of goes and supports him. We got him. Listen, we'll follow you. You folks head on. You're faster than us now.
I will follow behind Gary after making sure Mr. Rosemary is settled.
With your healing touch, he appears to have regained enough hit points that he's probably okay to move down the hallway to the rally point at least.
Wonderful. I will head down to the rally point. I'm kind of concerned about... I'm actually a little concerned about my passengers, which is kind of surprising to me.
And her heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Tam wants to see if there's like anybody else around. Is just gonna, sort of like usher them along too, if possible. Just with everybody else.
Yeah, there's probably, like, as you make your way down that way, there's, like, a couple other passengers sticking their head out the door, like, hey, what's going on? Everything's super weird. And so you can kind of guide them along to the rally point as you were trained in the, again, extensive training that I'm sure you all paid a lot of attention to.
Mm.
Gary did.
As we're heading down the halls and I see things that are, like, broken or, like, fallen over or just, like, messy, I am alternately using my mending and vanishing trick cantrips to sort of, like, make the mess go away, or like fix the ripped curtain. And I'm like, don't look over here, everything's fine.
Very good. Yeah, you sort of you're able to fix some of the damage. There's dings in the walls, some cracked glass in places that you can mend or vanish accordingly. Though it's clear that the ship is having greater issues. Your cantrips do not fix emergency lighting and none power.
No, but I'm trying my best over here.
You are, and you're doing a great job of it. Was Gary doing something as you headed to the rally point?
Yeah, Gary's just got his emergency flashers on, and I imagine there's probably, like, at this point, like, an audio recording that's like, we are experiencing a temporary emergency. If you can hear this recording, please follow the security officer to the nearest emergency rally point and await further instructions. For your safety, do not approach the security bot too closely as he assesses threats and assures the safety of all crew and passengers.
Love it. Yes, so you can play that on a loop as you make your way down there. And as the 4 of you and you sort of pick up like a half dozen other passengers, including Quick and Jewel a little ways behind you, you arrive at this rally point, which is basically just this designated, spot for if there's an emergency, come to here so you can get space life jackets or what have you. And it's sort of this circle of tables kind of surrounded by a couple of different stores and restaurants and stuff. Everyone makes sure on the ship that everyone is very well taken care of and can spend their money at any number of businesses on the ship, of course. And it's very interesting because, you left this area about an hour ago to go set up the cocktail reception. And it was a flurry of activity as guests were coming to and fro, eating their lunch, doing all this shopping. And it's still a whirlwind of activity, but the vibe has shifted. You see a number of injured passengers sitting at tables, sort of laying on the ground, being tended to by other passengers. You don't see a ton of crew around right now. There's a lot of damage to this area, cracks, sort of spiderwebbing across glass, broken tables, chairs, things like that. At the center of the room, there's kind of this calm among the storm as you see a Sheeran standing there with a clipboard, sort of directing traffic as people are arriving, pointing people to and fro. You recognize the Sheeran, of course, as your friend and coworker Nikiski.
And I try to start a mental, conversation with Nikiski, if I can. If she catches eyes with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh, what is going on? What is happening on this ship?
Oh my stars, thanks so much. Y'all are all right. I was so worried. And she sort of rushes over to the 4 of you. How are y'all doing? What happened? How are you feeling? What's going on? She peppers you with questions.
And I'm assuming she's telling everybody this verbally when she asks everybody what's going on.
She's speaking telepathically because that's usually how she speaks, but she sort of has it broadband to all 4 of you, so you can all hear her.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll silently say, everything is just going completely wrong. When does this ship ever go off course? What is happening? I don't know.
Well,
we got attacked?
I mean, in fairness, it is our first voyage, so it's never been off course before, so I don't know. But you say we were attacked?
We were swarmed.
Swarmed? By what?
Something from a knot around here. I tried to see if I had any information, but they were trying to extract information from us, from everybody, really. Does this ring a bell?
My goodness. No, we ain't had nothing like that.
It was really strange. They were pretty aggressive. I was gonna tase one of them, and it did not end well. We had to dispatch of them. Gary's a strong robot, Nikiski. Where did we find this robot? It kind of scared me a little bit.
I don't know. I wasn't in the hiring interviews for the security position, but I'm glad y'all are safe and protected, apparently. Are there any passengers that you passed on the way that can't move here? We're trying to assemble everyone here at the rally point.
I pull back and I lift my hand up to Quick and Jules, and I'll say, we found Mr. and Mrs. Rosemary in the hall. Just out loud.
Oh my god. Oh.
To kind of ping them, yeah.
Yeah, they'll sort of. Can we get someone to look at his head wound there? I mean, the pink lady did a great job, but could use some medical attention, I think. And Nikiski sort of says, "Oh yeah, right away, come over here. We set up kind of a triage bay over here. Listen, I'm so glad y'all are safe. Could you give us a hand, sort of assessing the situation, helping out anyone who needs? I really appreciate it while we figure out what the heck's going on. We haven't heard anything from upstairs at all."
Absolutely. I'm happy to hear this because I want to start. I'll turn to Nikiski and telepathically say, of course, I'm going to get on it. And I want to start, like, just sensing anyone's emotions. Like, is anybody scared? Is anything off? And just looking around and checking in with people.
Sure, sounds good. Why don't you make a sense motive check for me and just see what you can sense. And while you do that, as for the other 3 of you, what would you sort of like to do to help out here in this emergency situation?
Yeah, so I basically have like a little med kit already put together. I just want to go to that station, as mentioned, and just, see if I can do any sort of bandaging up or just healing those minor wounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Even
you can go mixing some little medicines together and giving those even, sort of like non-alcoholic medicinal shots.
Of course, sure, why not? It's space, we can do that. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and make a medicine check, and I'm gonna come back to Hopper's roll here, which was a natural 20 on sense motive for a total of, 31?
I feel bad, like, I wish it was more directed now. I feel like I wasted 20. Yes, it's 31.
Yes, critical success on the vibe check of the room. Love that. There's like a few dozen passengers sort of gathered in this area, and you can just sort of go around, check in with them, put on the customer service voice, check in, all that kind of stuff. Most of them are pretty okay. There's some bumps and bruises. There's some people who are kind of banged up. There's people over in that triage area that Tam is going to that could use a little bit more help. But like, everyone is not okay, obviously, because something has gone wrong in the past hour, but it is as chill as you can expect because nothing further is going wrong. So people are calm, they're waiting for direction, they're sort of waiting to see what's going on. Is there anything in particular else that you wanted to check out with them?
I want to ask the person who seems the most worried or frightened.
Okay.
What happened, or if they've seen anything.
So that is actually going to be this this big sort of a Nuar, basically Space Minotaur. Big sort of bovine body, horns, the whole deal. And he's just sort of sitting off in a corner by himself with like, a little blanket over his shoulder, a little styrofoam cup, because that's what happens in emergencies, right? And he's just sort of sitting there quietly by himself, just kind of hand shaking as he drinks the water in the cup.
And I'll recognize them. I'll walk up and say, "Hello, Mr. Clemson. Is everything okay? Do you need more blankets? Do you need some assistance?"
Yeah, he sort of jumps as you approach. He says, "Oh, sorry, I was lost in my thought. No, I'm okay. I'm just a little freaked out. Are you all right?"
I'm well. Don't worry about me. Let's talk about you. I want to assess the damage and our customers' experience on our ship, and I just wanted to know where you were when the incident happened.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in the shop over there, and he points to one of the nearby apparel stores with various floral garments in it. He says, I was shopping for something nice for my husband, and I don't know, the whole ship suddenly, it felt like it tilted all of a sudden, and I looked out the window, and there were stars out there, and that was real weird, and yeah, then I kind of fell over, and here I am.
Are you, did you hear any strange noises? Did you see anyone at all? Or were you, with anyone that wasn't your husband?
He sort of thinks for a second and says, no, I was alone. I mean, there were a few other people in the store. I don't know, it's kind of hard to remember now, actually. But, I don't remember seeing anybody, but I don't know, maybe I hit my head. Did I? And he sort of reaches up and checks. Nah, I'm good. I don't know.
Any details can help. Take your time and think about it. If anything comes to you, let me know.
Yeah, I will. Do you need me to do like a customer satisfaction survey or something?
Oh, not at this time, Mr. Clemson. It's hardly the situation, but feel free to recommend me to my supervisors if we all get coordinated and gathered safely.
Yeah, of course, we'll do. Thanks.
And then I'll back off because I can't just straight up peer through this guy's mind. But yeah.
I mean, you can, but only once per day, and it would be rude.
I know, right?
All right. Cam and Gary, what would you like to do as you sort of assess the situation? How would you like to help out?
I am passing out just analog pieces of paper and pens and things to write with, or if there's extra data pads around. Because I'm going to try to get everyone to write down anything they experienced from the start of the accident to right now, to see if I can figure out any weird behavior, and if anyone else has encountered any more of the machine drone hives that we encountered. Because I'm starting to get the vibe that they're around this ship, not just with us.
All right, very good. Why don't you make a diplomacy check for me, just as you're sort of going around handing stuff out, checking in with people, seeing how it's going.
That's a 14. Is that good or is that bad?
14. We'll find out. And then, Tam, sorry, you headed over to help out with medical stuff, so if you want to make either a medicine or a life science check to see if you can help people out.
Yeah, I did a medicine, and that was a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, love that for you. So yeah, you're able to go and help out. The first thing that kind of catches your eye after you pass out your various medicinal shots is there's this this little kid there, human kid, can't be more than like 4 or 5, like practically has his thumb in his mouth. He's got this little toy that he's holding on the side, and he's just kind of looking around, kind of lost, like he doesn't know where to go.
Hello, excuse me, do you know where your parents are?
I guess he still looks up at you, even though you're fairly short. You've still got a few inches on him. He sort of looks up and he says, "No, I don't know, my mommy and daddy. I don't know." And then the sky came back. Why did the sky came back, mister?
Oh, well, we're trying to find out. But first things first, let's find your mommy and your daddy. Now, what's your name?
My name's my name is Reggie. My family calls me Reggie, but my real name is Reginald. And this is Bobby, and he holds up the little toy that he's holding. Make a life science check for me.
24.
24, love that for you. So, you recognize this little toy. First of all, you recognize it as a port pet. It is an extremely cute version of a very ugly creature, very gross creature called a blood brother, which is basically like this thing that just like envelops people and like sucks their blood out. It's very gross. This one is very cute, however. But yeah, that's like this kid's little stuffy. His name is Reggie. My guy's name is Bobby.
Yeah, Reggie and Bobby. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Tam is going to look up and around trying to find anyone that might have some sort of familial resemblance, but says, Reggie and Bobby are over here. Parents, where are you?
Make a perception check for me as you just look around for the parents.
28.
28, yeah, so you can see these two women over on the other side of the room. You can see one of them like has hair that very much like matches his. He's got this nice like dirty blonde going on, but they're like looking around frantically, and she sort of hears you and says, "Bobby, is that you?" Just, yeah, mommy,
Over
mommy,
here.
hi.
Tam is jumping up and down, waving his arms.
Yeah. They sort of run over and they scoop him up in their arms. They say, oh, thank you so much, sir. Are you okay? And they start, looking him over, making sure he's all right.
Oh, this is beautiful, beautiful family. Tam reaches in his pocket and pulls out like a couple sheets of paper and just marks on them. Here, he just scribbles something on them. Here, turn this in at the bar next time I'm working. Free drinks for the both of you.
Oh, thank you. That's so kind. And they sort of, fuss over him and take him back. And you've reunited that family. Thank you.
We'll get this fixed first.
Step 1, fix the ship. Step 2, free drinks. Very important. Gary, what would you like to do to sort of help out this crowd of people here?
Sure. So it's sort of standard operating procedure in the event of an emergency. Near the rally point, security attempts to set up some kind of small command area where other security gather. They can do assessments of the situation. There's both sort of a private area usually, like maybe in this particular area, maybe like a kitchen where it wouldn't be passenger facing, but then there is a passenger facing portion of it supposed to be where we start taking in like who's hurt, who's missing, are there any incident reports, all that kind of stuff. So my first goal would be to try to find if there are any other if that has been established yet, and if not, to then establish it so that incoming security has a place to make their reports.
Very good, very good. So yeah, go ahead and make a perception check just as you're looking around.
Ooh, there we go. Love it. 25.
25. Yeah, so as you look around and sort of at everyone, there aren't a ton of crew here. It's really mostly passengers. Mm-hmm. You do see sort of on the other side of the room, you do see one other security uniform.
Excellent. So I'll approach them, and when I get there, start literally just figuring out who's in charge and how I can make my initial reports and then start helping out with any other operations that are currently ongoing.
Yeah, absolutely. So you roll up to him and you just kind of start data dumping on him. You're just like talking a mile a minute, spitting out reports. Sort of, whoa, slow down. Hey, Gary, you're all right. And you recognize this individual as Sarian Vex, another security officer that you know. He's a human man, sort of short cropped black hair, wearing a uniform that looks pretty nice. He's obviously, dealing with this disaster, so it's a little scuffed. But he says, "Hey, good to see you. You doing all right? I mean, slow down. Let's figure stuff out. But you okay?"
I am safe. Are you safe?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, as safe as any of us are.
That's great to hear. Who is currently in charge of the operation? We cannot make contact with the bridge.
Yeah, you haven't been able to either? I thought you'd have more luck being a bot and all. I mean, we've been trying, but no luck up there so far. I mean, we're about the same rank, so you wanna, rock, paper, scissors for it?
Are we the only 2 officers on site?
As far as I know at the moment.
I see. You can be in charge. I trust you explicitly.
Well, that's very kind of you, Gary. Thank you very much. What should we do?
I will be in charge. I trust my own judgment. The first thing we need to do is make an announcement assuring the passengers that everything is A-okay. This is a lie, but they will not know that, so it needs to be convincing. Can you convince them?
I think I might have better luck at that than you.
Excellent. Please find the nearest public announcement terminal and commence with that immediately. I will begin collecting incident information from passengers and assessing their general well-being. You should know there were intruders aboard the vessel. They have been dealt with, but there may be more. We should begin an assessment protocol to establish if everyone on board is supposed to be on board.
I'm so glad you're in charge, Gary. And he sort of claps you on the shoulder, and as you roll away, he just gets up on a chair and he starts, proclaiming loudly to the room, because that is the best public address he has at the moment, with the state of things. He says, "All right, folks, don't you worry. Everything's gonna be all right. We've got our best security man our best security bot on the job. I'm sure everything will be just fine." And you can sort of trundle off to begin the process of setting up a security checkpoint if you so desire.
Yep.
All right. So the 4 of you can sort of, pitch in here for the next kind of hour or so, just kind of helping people out, figuring out where people are, get your security checkpoint kind of set up and well well defended and well situated.
Oh, I was gonna say, did anything come of my survey taking, or are we good?
You have, yeah, so, I mean, people have begun to give you information. As you sort of flip through the early reports, they all sound about the same as yours. Nobody else is reporting encounters with, like, weird creatures. So you're not sure what's up there. But everyone else is kind of like, yeah, I don't know, the ship went weird.
Okay.
But if you get more things, then I will tell you. But after about, like, an hour and 90 minutes, you all hear Nikiski's voice in your head saying, I'm assembling all crew in the back room behind the floral pattern shirt store. If y'all want to assemble up, we can circle up and see what we know so far.
I will follow. Go where Nikiski told us.
The floral pattern shirt store.
Shirt store, yeah. They only sell floral pattern shirts, and it is also shaped like a floral pattern shirt.
London would go broke there. I would lose all my money at that store.
It's like whatever Hawaiian shirts are, but they're like space flowers, so they're all like weird shapes. Some of them are spiky. It's very odd.
Wonderful.
And someday I'll name the stores on this ship, but not today. But you can all circle up with Nikiski in the back room. There's probably like at most a dozen crew members, counting yourselves. There's not a ton of people here right now. There's a lot of people who either may not have been on the decks when the disaster happened or haven't checked in for one reason or another. You're not 100% sure yet. But Nikiski sort of circles you all up and kind of takes charge and says, all right, so here's what we know so far. It's not really very much. The ship is clearly having some kind of disaster. Nobody's been able to reach the upper decks at all. It looks like the bridge might be gone entirely, which is real worrying. The passengers down here appear to be mostly fine. Anyone else have any important reports before we make plans for the next steps?
I step back so Gary can do a full status report, because I know Gary's gonna do it.
Yeah, Gary rolls forward and sort of data dumps everything that has happened in terms of the assessment of the ship and any threats he's come across, but particularly mentioning that it is possible that there are stowaways aboard, as we encountered 2 of them. They were dangerous and attempted to steal Opulos Corporation property. Therefore, we must be on alert. We must find if there are any more intruders aboard. And how dare they?
And how dare they? Gary's alignment is lawful. So Nikiski kind of takes in all this information, this data dump, and she does her best to keep notes, but at a certain point she gives up on all the timestamps. But she says, so thank you very much for that very thorough report, Gary. Do let us know if you see any of these stowaway hostiles on board, because that's a real problem. The other real problem that we're having right now is that right now it looks like we're on our own, at least for a little bit. We got a lot of passengers here, we got some crew here. We don't have a ton of food here, and it's getting to the point where it's going to be dinner time real soon, and the passengers are going to start asking for dinner. I know, obviously, the chef is MIA, so we're not preparing plated meals, but I was hoping that maybe some of y'all would be willing to go check out the storerooms, see if I know there's a secondary storeroom that might have more stocks than what we've got here right now.
I'd be happy to do that.
But I also turn to Nikiski and I'll say,
I'm assuming since we don't have any contact with the bridge, we don't have any captain, pilot, anyone driving. Where are we?
She sort of looks at you and she says, well, we're not 100% sure, but if the bridge is really gone, then yep. So let's not tell the guests that, shall we?
I just want to be on the same page. Okay, how are we still... Where are we?
I repeat my first question.
Do we have any idea where we are?
Nope. No idea. I mean, there's stars outside, so there's that. If anyone's better at astronomical navigation than me, they're welcome to check. But for now, where we are is here.
Wonderful. I'll go check on the stores. If anyone wants to accompany me, you are welcome.
I will go to keep you safe.
Awesome.
Thank you,
we
Gary.
all go.
Thanks so much. The rest of us here will stay to make sure the passengers are safe. Gary, are you going to leave the other security officer here?
I am. He's in charge, but you should know he doesn't know what he's doing. So You're really in charge, but he needs to feel like he's in charge. Do you understand?
She thinks for a second and she says, I do, and I feel like you understand more things than we thought you understood.
I experienced a wide range of things that would be shocking revelations to you.
All right, I'm not really sure how to take that, but if you four can go check out the food stores, I should warn you, I know there are automated defenses around the food stores in the event of pirates. Those might be on, so be careful.
I have no doubt that my security overrides will be fully effective in neutralizing them immediately without any challenge.
Absolutely, that's the ticket.
Great. I'll start heading that way.
Okay.
I do shoot a look.
It seems a little weird to put the guns facing the food storage, but okay. Let's, I guess that's an important part of keeping everyone on the ship alive. Let's go.
Pirates, you know how they are.
I really don't.
Look 10 minutes in the future, you might find out. Anyway,
Oh,
sorry,
God.
did I say that out loud? Whoopsies.
Uh-oh.
You can head sort of through the back doors to kind of this secondary food storage. There's a number of different storage rooms in this area, and they're sort of kept away from the main storage just because they're not used as often. But the hope is that they'll be, more fully stocked. So, Gary, are you taking lead, or is someone else walking in front? I ask for no particular reason.
I intend to generally be in the front, scanning for danger and threats, but if somebody else has a need or a particular desire to be ahead of me, I don't necessarily stop them.
I'm happy to follow behind Gary.
My default is yes, to be in front.
Very good, very good. Yeah, all right. So the four of you can sort of head down that way, and as you approach the hallways that you need, the first thing that you notice is that there is a big locked airlock door. There's a computer terminal by it if you would like to attempt to access it.
Yes, I do that.
Aha! This was a trick.
Not as good. 10.
So that's a natural 1 for Gary. So the good news is I get to use my fun toys. And as you begin to access the computer, you fail to notice the shock grid that has been activated. So I need a reflex save from Gary, please.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Not a shock grid.
Also not good. 7.
So as the shock grid activates, you take 7 points of electrical damage, which is not as bad as it could have been. And you hear an automated voice from the terminal, which says, the Opulos Corporation has not authorized access to this terminal. Please see an operator for further information.
Would I happen to know if that countermeasure is still active? Like if somebody else attempted to access this, would they continually be shocked?
Yeah, you're probably going to have to do something to shut it down, or else it's just going to keep zapping people.
So I there's another little like printer thing, a spool of like a bright red caution tape that I plaster over the terminal, and then I turn to the others and say, "Do not attempt to access this datapad. It is dangerous."
I saw that, Gary. Are you okay?
I am fine. We will need to find some way to bypass this door, though.
Is there a way? So if I can look at it, I don't think I'm a coder, but do I see a way to remove power from this console? Like something?
Yeah, absolutely. So if someone wanted to go up and monkey around with it, you could try and make an engineering check to sort of disable the power cable. It's a shock grid that's like basically laid into the floor. So if you disconnected that from power, that might do it for you. So that would be an option. If you have other ways that you want to try to bypass it, you can certainly attempt to.
I look at you guys and I say, I'm not an engineer. I'm gonna lean on y'all for this one.
Oh no, none of us can do anything useful here, huh?
Typically, bypassing security measures like this is against Opulos Corporation regulations. And without any access to the bridge, I cannot get authorization to do this. However, if you were all to look down the corridor for other threats, perhaps another solution will reveal itself.
Yes, I am picking up what you are putting down. Everyone turn this way, please. Do not look at Gary. He's going to do something good and bad.
Oh, I knew I always liked Gary. Hey, I owe you a drink. And Tam spins around.
I will also turn.
When nobody is watching me, I will violate corporate policy by attempting to disconnect the security panel from the grid. with an engineering check.
Make an engineering check to do crimes.
Yay. You're done.
21. You will successfully be able to sort of sever that connection and remove the power from the laser grid, leaving it, or the shock grid rather, leaving it as just some lovely designs inlaid into the floor.
Good news, everyone. The damage to the ship deactivated this security panel, and we can safely enter the room.
How
Now
fortunate.
open the door.
Interestingly, as you access the panel, you are still locked out.
Everybody turn around again. Actually, I don't know if I can open the locked door. What would be required to open a locked door of this type?
It would be either computers or engineering to sort of bypass the security protocol. You could also just attempt to force the door open with athletics if you wanted, but that would obviously be a little trickier because it's a big metal door.
Even though Gary doesn't really have ears, I'm gonna put my head up to the door and be like, uh-oh, there is a possibility that I detect life forms beyond this door and must activate emergency security protocols to retrieve them. Stand back, everyone, and I will attempt to brute force the door with my
Okay. Sure. Does anyone want to attempt to assist Gary?
I literally can't.
I know this is a super buff party, I know.
No, I just I give him a little bit of applause to keep him in good spirits.
Can I use a booster to give him a +2 for this next skill check?
Yeah, absolutely you can.
Yeah, here's a shot of strength for you, Gary. As he keys it in on his little micro lab there. This is for you, and he gives him this strength shot.
Thank you. I appreciate
Very
your
good.
assistance. And what am I? Athletics check or just?
Athletics, yeah. Athletics.
Hey, there we go. 26, and then plus. It didn't factor in the +2, so 28.
28. You will get your sort of grippy hands in there and just as you hear the screeching of metal as Gary forces the door open. So that's the good news, is that the door is open. The bad news is what's on the other side, because
Damn it.
you see crisscrossing the hallway are a number of laser beams, because we love tropes here, yes we do, which are currently blocking the door between you and the storeroom.
Okay, everybody. I saw this in a movie once. Can I see a panel on the opposite end of the room that will shut these off, or on my side of the room that will shut these off? Are there any
Of
panels?
course there's
that
one on the other
propose?
side of the room. Of course
Oh,
there is.
of course, on the other side. Do they go all the way to the ceiling, or are they like
Yeah,
a horizontal situation?
They're like crisscrossy, up and down, sideways, all kinds of fun ways.
Listen, I'm not good at too many things, but I am pretty good at acrobatics, and I do have this little and I motion to like what looks like a fanny pack, but really it's just like a really stylish looking set of jump jets to help assist me get through this, to get the other side. I'm gonna try this. Unless anyone has any other ideas.
This is a wonderful idea.
You can do
So
it. I believe in
I
you.
will roll acrobatics, and then I don't know if using the jump jets gives me like advantage or something. I don't know.
Let's roll the
Maybe
acrobatics and see how it goes first.
I look at this.
Oh,
28.
28.
Very nice.
Would you like to describe how you soar and leap and skirt your way through the laser beams?
I am a connoisseur of all things artistic and beautiful and trendy, so I am doing whatever the latest dance the kids are doing on the social media to get myself up into the air and bouncing like a parkour off the walls to get all the way to the other side of the panel. I'm doing little flippy flops. I do a little bit of dabbing, which is not cool anymore, but I do not know that. And I get all the way over there in one piece with all my 6 limbs attached to me still.
Very good. Yes, not even a bit of fur singed off. It's a masterful performance.
On the panel that controls these lasers, does it look like there's just like a key or a button that says off, or is it more complicated than that?
It's a little bit more complicated than that, but not by much. And actually, as you look at it, the panel is both the door, it controls the door into the storeroom that you need, and also controls the lasers. But you can see that it is also locked down. This is a biometric scanner, however.
For hands or eyeballs or something else?
I'm gonna say that it needs a fingerprint and an eyeball. So you could either like attempt to directly hack the panel, or if you wanted to try and like trick it, you could try that as well with like disguise or something.
Hell yeah. So I have all these. I have like so many ways to disguise myself. I don't know what happened. I'm going to use my disguise self spell. So it can't change my creature type, but it can change like my eyes, my hair, all that stuff. I'm going to attempt to emulate somebody that I might have seen like on the bridge who's like way higher in command than I am.
Make a culture check for me just to see what you know about the command structure of the ship.
That's fair.
I love this. I love the disguise.
anything?
I love the disguise self for it. It'll definitely work. I just want to know, who you've got.
Okay, that's an 18.
Okay, so what you would know about sort of the hierarchy of the ship, you don't know a ton of the people who pilot the ship. You do know, because you're very hip to the trends and you're very hip to the infosphere and the social medias, is that the rumor is that on board is the niece of the Opulus Corporation's CEO, Vioni Opulos. So she would probably have access to stuff.
Okay, I do a little blip blip and I turn into her, just taking care to do the skin of my hands and my eyes to match her. I still look like a Skinner Manor version of her, though, whatever, because I can't change the kind of creature I am, so it's, like, probably horrendous looking. Like, humanoid head, furry, like, torso, but, like, human hands, and it's gross.
So some real body horror going on here, absolutely.
Yay! Rated PG.
Yes.
And I attempt to access the Skinner as this person.
Yeah, absolutely. I will say, if you're going to burn the disguise self spell, burn that first level spell slot, then I will say that will absolutely work. No roll necessary. You can, with your knowledge of this person and the trends around them, you can get yourself to a point where you can trick the scanner enough into being like, yes, hello, it is me, Vioni Opulos.
And I just, like, let's see, how long does this last? About 10 minutes. So for 10 minutes, we see this body horror Vioni version, Skinner version of Vioni.
Yes.
All right, everybody, I think I've got it. And I turn off the lasers and open the door.
Yes, absolutely. You shut down the lasers, and you can also successfully open the door at the same time. Do the three of you sort of join her down the end of the hallway?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Then you'll all be in range of the fireball. No, I'm joking.
Oh.
I'm joking. I get one joke, and that's it. So yeah, you all enter this storeroom. You can see that there is food here. There's not a ton, but there's probably enough for like the number of people that you've got for a couple of days if you rationed it out. If you want to take some time to inventory it or do anything else in this room, you certainly can do so.
I make sure to applaud Camembert's clear prowess, because that was really cool. So I'm like, that was amazing. How did you learn to do that?
Oh, thank you. My kind have many abilities such as this, and also I can see like a little bit into the future, which I don't talk about that much, but it's a nice advantage to have.
So interesting. And I'll kind of turn away absentmindedly and start looking around the room and see what we can find.
Yeah, if you want to sort of look around the room and inventory things, you can make a perception check for me. 22.
That's a 22.
Yes, so you can sort of start inventorying the food. It's all kind of basic food. I mean, obviously it's nice because this is a luxury Starliner. But one thing you do find as you're sort of poking through with that perception check is that there's a box of chicken fingers that is not actually chicken fingers. As you open it up and look inside, it is actually some very fine wines and spirits.
Ooh.
Tam, I think I have something for you.
Oh, what is this? Oh, these are nice, as he's looking at them. Oh, yeah. Yeah, these are some of the finest things. They don't give me these at my bar. These are for the luxury premium. I'll take some of this. Our patrons would really enjoy this.
Is there anything else that I find?
Is there anything in specific that you're looking for? There's food.
More food.
You find that.
Yeah. What I would love a list of food, and I want to start like working with Gary to like note down like what we have. Because, it's starting to dawn on me that, yes, rations may be necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely start sort of compiling the list, figuring out, like, what'll go bad fastest if you need to, like, be doing this for, God forbid, a couple of days, heaven forbid, like, a week or longer. You sort of start to figure out what to use first and what to do with all of that. Anything else you all would like to do in the storeroom while you're here?
Take an inventory of the food, taking also stock of anything we should take back immediately, because I know that they were talking about wanting to actually have on hand some supplies for a meal in the immediate future. So gathering up what we the stuff that we need to get out of here the quickest to make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not like a temperature-controlled room or anything, so you sort of get the stuff that might need to be either refrigerated or like heated up for a quick meal. You can get some of that kind of stuff out fairly easily and start to figure out, okay, what are we gonna serve these worried people for dinner tonight while we try to make contact with upstairs. So, presumably the storeroom would have carts and stuff and all this kind of stuff that you can start to transport the food upstairs. But as you do so, for the first time since the disaster a few hours ago, the loudspeakers and the data pads around you crackle to life, and you hear a voice. And you hear a voice come over the loudspeaker, and it's a little crackly, it's a little fuzzy, but you can still, hear what they're saying, and it appears to be transmitted to the whole ship. And you hear them say, "Greetings, valued passengers. This is Vioni Opulos of the Opulos family. Due to circumstances beyond the company's control, the Void Empress is experiencing some temporary mechanical faults. We remind you that per the terms of your passage, the Opulos Corporation is not liable for any unforeseen issues caused by outside circumstances. Rest assured that as the Executive Vice President in charge of subspace entertainment for the Nebula region, I've taken command of the ship temporarily. Our engineers are hard at work restoring the upper decks to full functionality. We thank our first-class passengers for their patience in this matter. Extra drink tickets will be delivered to your cabin shortly. Unfortunately, due to the nature of the engineering faults, it would appear that many of the lowest decks of the ship have entirely lost functionality. While we are working hard to restore communications with any crew members who have not yet reported to the rally points, it is unfortunately necessary to conserve the ship's power for the functional decks. As such, we'll be placing those affected decks on limited power momentarily. Once again, we thank you for your patience and understanding, as well as your business. Remember, with the Opulos Corporation, you own everything. Have a star-filled day, passengers." And as this message finishes, the room around you is plunged into complete darkness.
Oh no.
And that seems like a fun place to leave this episode. I don't know. That seems super chill. Everything's fine.
Of course.
Everything's fine. Oh my gosh.
Everything's fine. It's fine. Don't worry about it, you guys. It's gonna be just fine.
Sure.
Anyway, we'll figure out what happens next time. Thank you all for playing Starfinder with me tonight. Thank you all at home so much for joining us and watching. We hope you are enjoying these poor crew members' struggles with the Drift Crisis. And we will see you all next time as we figure out what to do now that the decks have almost no power at all. So that's fun. That'll be fun. Bye, y'all.
Bye.